What would happen if you wake up tomorrow and you had zero access to your operating system? Yes, I'm talking about the dreaded cyber attack. Someone thousands of miles away gaining access to your operating system, leaving you stranded. Would your organization be able to continue operating? Would your customers trust you after such a situation? Well, today on Think Tank Thursday, we will be talking to District 30 to navigate the issues surrounding digital resilience. My name is Ruth Kulaisi, and I welcome you. Stick around as we talk about cybersecurity. Dr. Wisely, thank you for having us again today.
You're welcome.
When I was opening, I did mention to everyone that we'll be talking to District 30, but obviously you are here. What is the relationship with Sparc and District 30?
So District 30 is a sister company. It's a subsidiary of Sparc Systems that looks after 100% cybersecurity.
Okay, yes, and that's the issue we're talking about today, cybersecurity, and looking at every single Malawian, every single individual in the world who is now pretty much connected to the interwebs one way or another, even if it's not direct through the internet in that sense, but just having even the more say. That puts someone in a position where they too can be vulnerable and they can be accessed in one way or another. So yeah, that's some of what we'll be talking about today. First off, let's look at something that happened a while back, WannaCry 2017. Just for some that did not cry. Let's start with what WannaCry 2017 is on.
Yeah, just for some that were not born then.
Yes, because I born.
Yeah, so WannaCry is one of the cyber attacks that became a global thing. It went to almost everyone because it was to do with the vulnerability in a Windows or operating system. So you know how many people are using Windows operating system.
Yes.
And I should say it's something that was already discovered. The issues that were already discovered, the patches were already done, but now there were a lot of machines that were not patched.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end, if you're someone that is using Windows, maybe laptop or desktop or something,
yes,
you would have something that comes there, new updates. How many of us clicks there and say I'm updating now?
Who has time to update? Because you know you have to give it a minute.
Exactly.
So yes, the updating does feel like something that's tiresome.
And now you look at now because our internet is that fast.
Yes.
It goes that fast.
Mm-hmm.
So even updating will take you a bit of time.
Yeah.
So then you'd find that a number of computers are not updated. So this is a vulnerability that has already been discovered by Microsoft. Mm-hmm. But people haven't updated their systems. Then a month later, that ransomware comes in WannaCry that would encrypt your data, and it affected almost everyone. So at the end of it, of course, when you talk about the money value, people lost money, the big businesses. The owners that created the system, they didn't make a lot of money. I think the research is saying about $300,000. So they didn't make a lot of money. But the disruption to the businesses everywhere. And the only thing that you have to do is, if you're not attacked, then update your computer.
Yes.
And nowadays we're having the same things. There are very few people, although we're saying our internet is that fast, there are very few people that are updating. So we're coming from there where you already have a solution, but the human factor of it is not doing the side that they're supposed to do.
The human factor. Yes, it's good to see that there's two sides and they both must meet and work together.
Exactly. So if you're looking at most of the cyber attacks, you look at two sides. I think most of the times we concentrating a lot on the technical side to say, is this system safe? Okay, have we done the code in a way that will protect the people? We talk about the level of the network security, application security. So that's the technical side. But we forget the human aspect of it. So the human aspect, for example, you have someone in the system whose password maybe they set up 5 years ago. They're using the same one up to today. You have someone that his password maybe he doesn't want to
forget
put a difficult password.
Yes.
000. or put password as password.
Yes, the easiest ones.
Yeah, so you have a system that technically is well robust, but what about the users? So then you've got these hackers that have studied the user. Then they say, okay, this is Ruth. Can I go on her Facebook?
Can we use a different example?
Yeah. So, okay, let's look at it this way. So
Let's say this is wisely, because yours will be a tough one, I'm sure. So let's turn the focus.
yeah, so they would go and see Wisely is active on Facebook. Okay, what is the date of birth? So we start from there. Okay, this is the date of birth. Okay, maybe they were the kids and whatever. So out of there, you've got people that are using date of birth as their passwords.
Yes.
Then you've got, for example, your mobile money system, and unfortunately they're only putting what 4 digits. And
Yeah, and that's it.
So someone can literally go there without asking you and just check and say, oh, okay, so here's date of birth. Then it might, and they try and it works. So the human factor becomes the most difficult one. Then again, when you look at the human factor, this goes beyond someone that hasn't gone to school. But sometimes you think someone, this one hasn't gone to school. The people that, okay, we've been in cyberspace for some time.
Yes.
The fortunate or unfortunate thing in Malawi is that because we don't have an active data protection act, some of the things that happens, they're not being brought in the open. But as where we are, we've seen things that we're like, okay, in the US maybe we're able to read, now they're not coming out.
Yes.
There are these phishing attacks where someone sends you an email and say, click here. People have clicked.
And work.
So these are the people that are able to use their laptops. They have their email addresses. Educated guys, maybe some with degrees,
Yes.
but they're able to click there, and within minutes, the next moment you are hearing, okay, my Facebook has been compromised. Or someone is posting this on my page, but you clicked and you're not saying. So the human factor is something that also we really have to be able to sit down and maybe educate everyone, not just looking at people that maybe didn't go to school.
Yes.
But we all have to get educated. We all, I think, at some point need to be reminded. And this, as an example, this is something that we do in our company. Almost 3 months, we're able to simulate some of these attacks, send around the group. You'll be surprised.
That they're clickers.
You'll be surprised at results.
Is it easy now for people to also know that maybe this email is one that's a phishing? You called it phishing, yes? Because I feel like maybe sometimes it's because we're just in a hurry and we're not really paying attention. Are there some things that we could look out for when we do receive emails for us to know that, oh, okay, maybe this one's a bit sketchy. This is just for our own knowledge.
Yeah, so just examples. I will not go into the specific examples, but we've seen some people that have been attacked. You see an email that comes from, so assuming the email is supposed to come from Wisely.
Yes.
So it's wisely@sparcsystems.africa. What if it just says wisely@sparcsystems1.africa? Will you be able to pick that extra? That is the.
So it's hidden.
Yeah, so sometimes you're able to see where someone puts, where maybe there was supposed to be a dot and he puts a dash. So these are domains that are not supposed to be there. So especially when you're dealing with high system things, manners and all that,
Yes.
you really need to be able to check. The human factor, most of the times when people are hacked, manners have been stolen, they will say so many things about the technical capacity of the systems, but at the end of it, the human factor is always there.
Talking about systems and back to Malawi, there was a time when there was issues surrounding passport systems, hackings and ransoms, and can we dive into that a little bit?
Yeah, so like I said, I think for Malawi it's a bit different because as of now we're not forced to publish most of the things that are happening in this country. If you look at what we had, I don't want to go into, I want to just discuss whatever is the public domain.
Yes.
If you look at what we had this, there was a ransomware attack. But now you look at the disruption to the business. Trust me, if this was a private sector, so assume it's a bank, they've been down actually for not months, close to a year, where passports are not being printed. Okay, so you look at the impact on the business. So if this was not government or the private sector, would not quantify the business. How much have you lost on the businesses? We've seen this in some of the US companies. Colonial pipeline, you're able to see from the way they will tell you, okay, at the end of it, they look at, okay, how much am I losing? What do I do? Can I just pay them? And then they pay them about $4 million so that they can have a decryption key and be able to get. So that side of it, of where you look at the business and say, how much am I losing?
Yes.
As of now, if government was a private sector, would be saying, how much have they lost in terms of the revenue that they didn't get? The passports were not being printed. Then there is the other side of it, which now is the reputation, and there will be people that will be able to sue you. So assume this was not government, it was the private sector. So assume maybe Sparc that is printing the system.
Yes.
And that thing happens. So it means someone that was maybe had a job, maybe they got a job outside, they were supposed to travel, but they lost their job because the passports are not being printed. There will be some that have been referred maybe to a hospital, say in India. And he'll come tomorrow and say, my mom or my dad was sick, he died because he didn't go there. They'll sue you. So there's that factor of people that will come and sue and get money from you. Then there's the general reputation now saying their systems can't work. So maybe for us, because it's government, it operates a bit different. But trust me, if this was private sector, it would be different. If let's say this was a bank, then you have even the regulator coming and penalizing you. That's the end of the business. So cybersecurity is something that really we need to be looking at, and we have to look at the human aspect of how these systems are protected.
Unfortunately, the impact of such continues on the people of Malawi, even if there is no actual official reporting of whatever is happening. So yes, they may not be held to task to say, let's see what the cost implications are on the government, but there is a cost implication, as you've already said, on the people and how we're doing life and how we're doing business, because clearly others have been affected. So
we've all been affected.
Yes.
There have been times, for example, for us, we would want our engineers to travel out and do some preparation outside, and they don't have the passport are expired, they don't have, we lose money. So at the end, I think this is something that almost everyone in Malawi has seen, been affected. But maybe what is missing now is the actual value of saying, okay, this is the amount that we've lost. But when it comes to cybersecurity, whether now it's these mobile money systems, people are losing money, and we're able to see where someone comes and say, oh, I've lost my, is it 1,000 kwacha or 100,000 kwacha? So at the end of it, is something that from our side as Sparc, we've looked at it for some time, and we've been doing systems. We've done systems across Africa, but then we thought if we're designing systems, we're implementing systems, the governance side also says we cannot be the same ones coming there and saying, if you are hacked to come and correct the stuff.
yes.
Because what if it's a technical matter that maybe it involves your team? It's not that it's going at him, but the perception itself.
Yes.
So perception would be like, okay, but they implemented. How are they coming to do all the other stuff? That's why we decided to create a subsidiary with its own engineers, autonomous, running 100% on its own, only focusing on cybersecurity.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
that's the District 30.
Yes. Now, with District 30, maybe you could jump into a bit more of maybe some of the success that you've had so far.
So with District 30, there are a number of things that we do. Okay, the things, for example, I'll start maybe with the low-hanging fruits.
Yes.
These are the ones that we call about penetration testing and vulnerability assessment. So in a layman's way, you have, I will just give an example of these high-end systems. Like we're coming from Sparc, we normally do enterprise systems. So under the District 30, we're also looking at the enterprise clients. So some of these, what we'll do when you're talking about vulnerability assessment, for example, we go into your systems and check the systems, what vulnerabilities are there. So for example, are this system been patched to that level? Are people changing the passwords? Are people using admin passwords? So there are so many other vulnerabilities. Some will be human. Also, so for example, if an email comes from outside, are we able to have the tags that say this is external, this is internal? It's just one way of rating someone. So you are able to check a number of vulnerabilities. Some are to do with the human factor, some are to do with the technical factor, like I said. So we're able to check all these vulnerabilities and give you a report. That's an assessment. Then you've got the other side within the same, which we say penetration testing. So for example, we found a vulnerability. But now I want to see if a hacker managed to go into your system using that vulnerability, what will they be able to achieve? So it might be a vulnerability, but maybe they cannot achieve that much. So we mimic a hacker and we attack your system and go into the system and give you a report that if this person goes in, he's able to get ABC. That's one side of what we do.
Yes.
Then, okay, so these are what we call, we're becoming proactive because before you're hacked, we're able now to come in.
Yes.
We're able to do the trainings. We're able to do managed services in terms of cybersecurity. But maybe you'll be asking to say, what if I'm hacked already? Yeah, so if you're hacked, we'll be looking at forensics. How did that someone come in? What did he get? And remediation. So how are you able to maybe correct the issues that are in there? So these are some of the things that we're able to do under District 30. I should say we've worked with customers here. We've worked with customers in other countries also already. So this is the company that we started in 2015. We've already worked with a number of countries on the cybersecurity. And as you might know, cybersecurity doesn't have much expertise as of now. So we, in a wide space where a lot of things, people are able to come and we're able to do the stuff for them.
So you are pretty much doing ethical hacking with District 30?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, part of that.
Can we do some hacking?
Yeah, so we should be able to do...
like for us to do a demo, yes, because I want to see you go into somewhere.
So maybe like I said, we're looking, I think what we can do today, I would want to look at two aspects of a system.
Yes.
So we're looking at one side is the technical vulnerabilities, what vulnerabilities are out there, and maybe we'll go into some of the live systems. So maybe if we go into others, you'll be saying, no, but this is not in production. We can go into the live systems. We try some banks.
Oh.
Yeah, so
oh, okay.
we try some banks. We can start from outside and also.
And then we'll come within.
Yes, and be able to check that. Then the other part that we can look, let's try to mimic both. Where you're looking at the technical aspect of it. Technical aspect, are their system robust enough to protect the end user? But again, we look at the end user where the end user has clicked on something. So we're mimicking their sites again. So you've got those scenarios where the system might be okay, but the other side might not be okay. We've seen systems, for example, that you just come in and use and password is not even encrypted. These systems arrive. We've been able to scan and be able to see those. We've seen systems where you're having two-factor authentication. Maybe they've done a bit of encryption when you're going in, so that someone cannot hijack whatever keystrokes you're sending. You know, when you're sending a user and password, those are keystrokes that are going outside. Someone can be in the middle and be able to read what you're sending to the website. So it means if you're not encrypting, I'll be able to see your username and your password.
Oh.
So then there are others that we've seen where they're able to encrypt the data that is going that side, but the encryptions are weak. So we can decrypt within seconds and say, oh,
how much of this are we going to do?
No, we'll show you.
You know what? Okay, so to everybody, once again, this is Think Tech Thursday, and we are now about to mimic a hack. I'm excited for this one, and I'm going to ask you to stick around because District 30, Dr. Wisely, they're going to get into that demonstration mode, and then we'll go live. We'll see what the vulnerabilities are, and as he's also put it, we'll check on some of your favorite banks just to see where the loopholes are and how safe they are. So yes, let's get hacking.
Yeah, so on the demo side of the things, I will have to work with one of our systems engineers from District 30, Ian. Welcome, Ian.
Thank you.
I would want us to handle the demo in two ways. I've mentioned about the people aspect of it, the social engineering, and I've talked about the technical side of it. So let's start with the people aspect. Let's start with phishing. And at this point, I would want us to go into some of the banking systems to see these are the right systems, how they work, how someone can attack, how someone can get access, getting the username and password and going into these systems. Yeah, let's start from there.
All right, thank you. As Dr. introduced, we're from South District. I'm from District 30, and we are going to look at a demo that we have prepared in advance that presents a phishing simulation and also an attack scenario in which I attempt to carry out a phishing attack on a person. We're assuming a victim, whoever this person will be. This person will be a customer of the target bank, and this person will give me the credentials to their online banking info. So from a phishing perspective, from a human perspective, I mean, this plays on the awareness in the current threat landscape in cybersecurity, because sometimes it seems like when you look at cybersecurity, the vulnerabilities are only on the system level, but the vulnerabilities also lie on the human level, and this human level can be attacked using phishing. So we're going to test whether a person is paying attention to the signs and red flags that cybersecurity tries to raise awareness when talking to people about phishing, such as checking their address bar as to whether they are going to the right domain, checking whether the email is really coming from an authentic source, or if they're even following best practices in responding to messages that come to them claiming to be from reputable organizations. So let me start by giving you context. So in this context, I have prepared an email that pretends to be coming from a bank in Somalia called Salam Bank. And this email, I'm going to send it to my personal account, who this person is going to be our victim in the scenario. And this email is going to claim that they have detected some unusual login attempts and try to put some urgency in the message and convince the person to click this beautiful blue button in the middle here. But this button will not point to the actual domain that that Salam Bank owns, but it will rather point to my attacker control domain. So when I send this email, it should appear in my inbox, which I have opened in the other browser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the email, as you can see, has come. So immediately, from a human perspective, after training them with proper cybersecurity awareness, the person should be able to notice things. So from the get-go, you can see this email is claiming to be from Love Happy. But if we open the email, the context tells us it's Salam Bank. So if the person had been properly paying attention, they should have already have red flags in their head telling them that I don't think this email is who they claim to be. And then even when you look at the content of the email, it is stressing urgency, that the account has been hacked and they should respond almost immediately, and telling them to respond within 24 hours, of which a bank would not force you to do it as fast as possible. So the button...
So we're assuming the person clicks as usual. They
Yes.
click the button because they want things to be done fast.
We're assuming the person will click the button because they want the things to be done fast. And when they click the button, you can see they're redirected to our domain. But our domain right now does not have any service running there. But in a scenario, in the attacking scenario, the attack would turn the system to be live. So in this, this is our domain machine. It is a droplet on the internet that is hosting a web server. And the web server that is being hosted here, I'm going to use it to quickly clone the website that Salam Bank owns, which the regional website is this one. So we want the person to be convinced that they're actually going into their website. And when I click, and when I press enter.
So the first one is the actual live system for Salam Bank.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Then we cloning that. Let's look at our side.
Yes. So we are cloning it almost instantaneously. And now, if you remember, this is the URL that the user clicked. If I refresh, you see that it is now looking like Salam Bank, even though the URL tells them something else.
Yeah.
So again, you would want this person to be aware and be anxious. Why is my bank hosting their website on some website called D30 spoof? But if they are not paying attention, they will be, after the email is raising urgency, they'll start typing immediately. Who am I? This is my password. Let me see if my account is being deactivated. And this request is going through to the actual bank, because what I've done is not take a copy of the website and put it on my domain and then just leave it like that. But rather, I've created a channel where I will sit in the middle of the real website and the user, and just pass in the raw data from the website to the user and so on and so forth. That way, whatever the user is actually doing on their end is actually going to their bank. But the difference is that this time I'm sitting in the middle so I can see everything that they're doing. And with that, you observe that now our screen has two records. The first one is a request that was loading the page itself. And the second one is a post request, which shows that they were trying to log in. And you can see it even exposes, these are the credentials that the person was given. They gave a username and a password, and these are the passwords. So if I actually had an account with this bank and I logged in, this would have gone through, and I would have known that this person's credentials are these ones.
Yeah, so the person will be able to log in, but I would have had their username and password for that bank.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. The first one, we've looked at a bank. There are no encryption there.
Yes.
So let's see. Maybe now at this point, the bank is a different bank, and they've got some encryptions, and they also have maybe two-factor authentication. Yeah.
Yes. So this first target that we chose is actually a more basic website that doesn't include a lot of practices that are applied nowadays, such as you alluded to, multi-factor authentications. So your banks nowadays will try to send you an OTP to your phone just to make sure it's really you. And you would think that, yeah, that is safe enough. They'll also try to hide the credentials. Instead of sending them as they are, they'll put them behind some algorithm and then give you junk. But then the fact that all of this is depending on how they execute it, it can also be easy to decode that jumbled up nonsense they give you and still end up getting the credentials. So for this second scenario, I'm going to attempt to spoof or to clone now a bank that maybe we may all know, one that is local. So if you observe, this should be the original. This is the original domain that the bank owns. It is not mine, so it loads their user interface. And again, we would send an email just like this one. We'll change maybe the footer to include their logos, add a nice tone to it, and send the URL to the user, and they can click and it will still redirect them to our domain. And our domain being the D30 spoof one. But because we have killed where we want to clone this bank, or I'll change the URL that I was using in the backend on the web server and use the one for our target bank, which is this one. And when I run the program, it has started running a web server there. And immediately, you should observe that the domain has changed.
Still loading.
Yes, it is quite a heavy one, but yeah. So now you can see it has loaded the assets, and now you can see the user interface is exactly the same as this one. There's literally no sign for a user to know other than the URL. And if they don't pay attention, they will be caught. Because even if you observe my browser, it's not really showing the headers, but when it's usually logos here. But even when it's showing the header is exactly the same.
Yeah.
And because I am a client of this bank, I have credentials for this portal, so I can show you that if maybe you thought the other one, I was just seeing something, but it won't actually log in. This time I'll actually log in. So these are my credentials, and if I click sign in, I think I got them wrong.
Yeah.
Let me just. And they should proceed to send me an OTP. But mind you, all of these transactions are being recorded in the backend, so you may think you're safe, but it is still being recorded. And if I enter the OTP and verify, I should have authenticated into a live session of my actual bank accounts.
So for this one, we sent the OTP. The other one, they didn't. Okay, let's proceed with it.
Yes, for this one, they actually sent the OTP. So they did improve their security. They added an extra layer of authentication. But because my attack does not rely on their technical expertise, but rather the human side of it, I can bypass all that by simply relying on the fact that this person will think this is a legitimate website. And you see that all the requests have been recorded that were sent to our domain. And the ones I'll find of interest are the post ones, because the post ones are the ones that usually carry data. And if you observe, they should show the credentials, username and password. Unfortunately, because maybe not unfortunate, I should say it's fortunate that they're applying best practices.
That will encrypt the password.
Yes.
Yeah.
But because I know at least I know to some extent the common encryptions that I use, or common encoding schemes, I know that by glance I can tell that this is using an algorithm called base64, and which is fairly easy to decode if you know what it is. So all I have to do is copy this, and I can open a new terminal where I'll decode it using a quick Node.js command. And immediately it gives you the raw text, which is
now the password has come out.
It has come out.
Yeah.
So you can see that even though they seemed to be doing better, we were still able to get the raw credentials. And because this is an actual authenticated session, you will see that the routes will now give us internal routes, which are accounts and offers. And these ones should contain an authentication token now, that which you observe here. These are the authentication tokens. So these ones allow us to be able to clone even the session that the user currently has. They are logged in already, and we can hope on that by taking this token and putting it in our browser, and it will be like we're the ones that are logged in. And
so at this point, I no longer need the username and password because the session is already there.
Yes. So at this point, I no longer need the password because they have already opened the door, and now I just need to sneak in like a cockroach of sorts. But even if I didn't want that, I also have the password. So later I can make a request and maybe trick them into giving me the OTP later on. But yeah, so basically this is the demo that I prepared.
And these are just examples of real live systems that are live right now. So we're showing how you're able to be in the middle of the packets from the user to the bank and be able to hijack the username and passwords And even where they say they have encrypted, we're decrypting. And even where they're having the OTP,
We are taking the OTP.
We're able to take the OTP and still be able to log in and be using this. So these are just some of the attacks, and we've shown on a RIDE system. These are RIDE websites for the banks. And these are the part of the vulnerabilities. There are a number of them. We're just showcasing some of them. If you need help, the experts are here. You can always find them at Sparc Systems. It's District 30 for the cybersecurity side.
All right, gentlemen, I must say, this is WannaCry Malawi. What I've witnessed here and our conversation has left me with a slight headache, but also with hope. Thank you, District 30. Thank you, Dr. Wisely.
You're welcome.
You people look innocent.
We're
And
very
I'll leave
innocent.
it at that. You are like the heroes that we need, and we're grateful for your expertise. And I'm sure that as we go, we will have more people coming to the table to garner your expertise. So thank you so much. Once again, the big question is, will you be able to operate if tomorrow you wake up and you find that someone hacked your system? Help is here. We'll see you on our next Think Tech Thursday. Ian, and of course, Dr. Wisely, myself, Donana.